Well, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? It is it Tuesday night? Yeah, it's Tuesday night, and this is night 2 of my training. So I'm going to wait here for some folks to jump on because I know there will be some. I did a video a little earlier today, and there were folks that said, yeah, I'm going to be there. So I'm anxious to see who all is going to pop on. I do love doing these videos and sharing information about how to get healthy. And for some people, it's losing weight. For others, it's knowing what to eat and eating healthy things. For others, it's exercise. For others, it's coming off their medication. There are just a lot of reasons why people want to get healthy. But I think the number one reason that people join my group is because they want to lose weight. Now, they'll name other things, but when you have that fat around the middle and you can't wear your clothes and you know, it's just not a pleasant situation. So we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to do a little review at the beginning just because there may be some of you who missed last night. If you missed it, there's a replay in the email. So I hope you get my email. If you don't get my email, I need to hear from you so I can add you to my email list because I'm sending out emails every day with information about what we talked about the night before. Okay, so this is a training week. I don't do this all the time. This is just to kind of help people understand what I do, what's available, and how this can transform your life. I mean, I've seen over 2,000 men and women transformed. And today I was doing a little marketing exercise and I was going through all of the photos on my phone, and I've got an app, you know, where I put the photos, and I'm like, I can't believe all these people that I've been able to help and become friends with and all of that. So looks like some folks are getting in here, so I'm going to give it just another minute. But what I'd like to do first is just do a little review about what we talked about last night. So a little while ago, I did a video, and one of the gals guessed it, but I asked, okay, so this is supposed to be a cell in your body. You know, you have millions of cells in your body, and all of your cells have these little things on the outside of them. And so I asked the question, what are these little things that are around the outside of the cell? And one of the girls got it right. She said they are receptors. And that is exactly right. They are receptors. And what those receptors do, they do a lot of different things depending on the receptor. So they're vitamin D receptors, they're insulin receptors, they're just a lot of different receptors that when they attract things, and when they hit the cell, then the cell responds in a certain way. But this particular receptor is an insulin receptor. So when sugar comes along, okay, so glucose comes along, it will be attracted to these receptors, and the insulin that your pancreas releases because of what you've just eaten, it actually opens up the cell and allows that glucose to go in, which is a good thing. We need glucose to get inside of our cells, and that's what gives us energy. So here's what happens is over time, over 10, 15 years, here's the insulin, too much being produced because you're eating sugar every day. You're eating 4, 5, 6 meals a day, 6 feedings or fuelings a day, and your insulin level stays up because every time you eat, especially if it's carbs, your insulin level is going to go up. And certain carbs like potatoes and other things, it goes up and stays up. That's why potatoes, any diabetic will tell you that wreaks havoc on their glucose levels, all right? But so after years, it's sometimes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, after years of having that elevated insulin, eventually too much insulin in the blood, these receptors get burned out and they quit working. They quit working and they no longer help get glucose inside the cell. So that's why you lose energy. Your body's not burning fat. I mean, it's not burning up the sugar that you take in, not the fat, but the glucose that you take in. So that means you have an elevated glucose level. That's your hemoglobin A1C. And you have an elevated insulin level. So when you go to the doctor, it's very important that you tell him you want your insulin resistance checked, not just your hemoglobin A1C, because hemoglobin A1C is a measure of your glycated red blood cells. So in your red blood cell, okay, so let's just say, I know I had a thing here just a minute ago. All right, let me just say this. This is my little thing. All right, so this is this is a vessel, okay, an artery right here that red blood cells are floating through. And what happens is when you have a lot of glucose in your blood, it sticks to those red blood cells. It's kind of like a lollipop. You've got the chocolate on the inside and the sugar coating on the outside. Well, those red blood cells become what they call glycated, and that means they have sugar on them. So, or glucose is stuck to them, all right, and they become sticky. And when you measure your hemoglobin A1C, when they draw blood, they're checking the average of that, how many cells are glycated over a period of 3 months. So that's why they don't check that but every 3 months. They don't check that like your blood pressure every time you go to the doctor. So hemoglobin A1C is an important number to know. As it creeps up above 5, above 6, then you're pre-diabetic. And, you know, people start calling me because they say, I got to do something. My doctor says this, this, or this, because they don't want to get on diabetes medicine. But the thing that makes it go up is the number of carbs that you eat. And so, but over time, not only does your blood sugar level go up, but your insulin level will rise in your blood because your cell is not able to use that insulin. So you get an elevated insulin level, which is, we call it insulin resistant, because the cell itself doesn't receive the insulin. So, hey Donna and Amy and Cindy and Carolyn, please tell me where you are watching from tonight, okay? I love to see wherever all over the world that you're watching from. Okay, it's 8:30 here in South Georgia. This is where I live, right here in Vidalia, Georgia. Toombs County, love it down here. It's where I was born and raised, on a farm right here. So here we go. All right, so tonight I wanted to review one other thing. Remember last night I talked about how you want to shift one of the things you want to do. So we talked about that insulin resistance is the number one reason why people are gaining weight. And the reason is because their body cannot utilize that glucose for energy, all right? And that's why you're depressed, you don't have energy, you can't motivate yourself. So it's really not about motivation, it's about what's happening at the cellular level. And that's very important for you to know and understand. And we go over to that a little bit more. So, hey, Kimberly from Sylvia, Ohio. I bet it's cold up there. It's cold and snowy in Michigan. Hey, Cindy. Yes. Hey, Amy from South Carolina. And there's Carolyn from Tennessee. Thank y'all for letting me know where you're watching from. Okay, let me pop this TikTok notification. I don't ever look at those notifications. I'm not really ever on TikTok. Are y'all on TikTok? Yeah. So, hey, Laurie from Michigan. Yes. I was just on the phone with a guy today from Michigan. Yeah. Okay. So, the other thing we reviewed a little bit last night. Hey, Thelma from South Texas. And Debbie from Whiteville, North Carolina. Originally from Snow Hill and Greenville, North Carolina. I was just in Greenville, South Carolina this weekend. And gosh, it's supposed to be cold up there this week. I've texted my daughter and said, do you want to come down here where it's going to be a little warmer here in South Georgia? Looks like y'all are going to have ice. And, ooh, that always means, you know, that's not a good thing. It means power outages sometimes. Okay. All right. So, but here's what I want to remind you. We talked about last night how you want to shift from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner. All right. So here's what a sugar burner looks like. They are constantly needing sugar. They eat breakfast, maybe it's cereal or oatmeal or toast, and then 2 hours later they're hungry. They got to have something else. And then 2 hours later they got to have something else. And the reason is your blood sugar goes up, which is what it's supposed to do when you eat, but your insulin isn't working, so it doesn't bring it down. But then it will drop, but it'll drop down below normal, and then that's where the problems come in. So what you do in my program after about a week is you switch from being a sugar burner to becoming a fat burner, and that's what we want to do. We want to get in ketosis. We want to learn how to fast. We want to burn that fat not only around the middle, but around our organs, because that's where it's really dangerous. So if you have fat around the middle, then you also have it deep in your body, in your organs, and that's what we want to get rid of, and that's what we do. Okay, so enough of that. I want to talk now about, I want to share a story with you, okay? This is about a woman named Susan, and just like many of you, she was perimenopausal, postmenopausal, and she was just feeling all the feels, all the sluggishness, fatigue, couldn't stay awake after eating a meal. She was borderline diabetic. Her joints were painful. Her blood pressure was elevated. She was on medication. I think I remember she was even on cholesterol medicine, okay? All right, and she was definitely struggling with her weight. She felt stuck, and because she had tried everything, she had cut calories down to 600 or 800 calories a day and just couldn't lose weight. Just all those failed diets. She had tried everything. She'd even hired a trainer and, you know, thought she could work it off, but it didn't seem to budge, all right? And, you know, she was confused about all this different information that she was getting. Every time she would scroll through Facebook, there'd hop on there a 25-year-old, 30-year-old trainer and who's this big around, and she's like, I just don't know if they can help me or not, okay? But then she discovered a new approach, a new way to do food and fitness and even mindset, and it transformed her life. It literally transformed her life. She started eating the right foods at the right time, and then she began to add exercise 2 to 3 times a week. She also learned how to do meditation and prayer, okay? And her sleep improved. So this was amazing. And the results was she lost 27 pounds in 90 days. But more than that, she got stronger. She could wear her clothes from the back of her closet. Wouldn't that be great? You got clothes back there that are, I know you do. I know you've got clothes back there you paid a lot of money for. They're nice clothes, but they just aren't comfortable anymore. And you're wearing those loose tops. And how many of those can you have? I mean, one of every color? Yep. And the clothing industry is even now making them where they all look like maternity tops. And at 67, I don't want to look like, or 69, I don't want to look like I'm wearing a maternity top. But she lost her weight. She got back into her clothes in the back of the closet, and she got stronger. She came off her blood pressure medicine. She started feeling more vibrant, more energy. She felt better than she could remember feeling in a long, long time. And I know that happened for me too. I couldn't believe how much better I felt when I got that 30 pounds off. But I had to crack the code and find out what to do, and that's what I want to share with you. But Susan's story was not without challenges. There are landmines along the way. There are setbacks, and there are going to be days of discouragement, and there are going to be days that you're going to need support. And so the second obstacle, the first obstacle is going to be insulin resistance. That's going to be why you're not losing weight. But the second thing that I have found with most people is accountability. Without accountability, it's hard to stick with it for a lot of reasons. But one of the main reasons is our culture. Our culture is not designed to support healthy people, all right? So when you join a group of healthy people that support you every step of the way, every day you're going to have a place where you can hop on and talk to someone. I'm going to be there. Other people in the challenge. This challenge I just started, it's got people from the previous challenge that just wanted more support and they had more weight to lose. So having the support and the experience of people that have successfully done it is a huge factor. Motivation is important, but accountability is more important. And so when you start a new routine, sometimes it's real easy to fall back into your old ways unless you have that accountability. So I'm sure many of you can relate to Susan, okay? So let me tell you, my name is Dr. Nancy Stanley, and I have spent, 15 years or so studying the science behind weight loss. And it's not a one-size-fits-all thing, okay? I've helped countless women, just like Susan, and just like you, overcome those obstacles, step around those landmines, and get the confidence that they need to move forward, all right? But the key to overcoming that lack of accountability is having someone to hold you accountable. And that's what we do in the program. Someone who understands what's happening, understands what's going on, has seen it happen before, and knows how to guide you around those landmines. So when you have a birthday or a holiday or a special occasion, we talk you through how to adjust this in your mind. And I just had 25 women come through my challenge, and all of them lost weight through the holiday season. You think, how can you do that? There's so much stuff around. Well, it's the story you tell yourself. So I understand your struggles. I can guide you, and I won't let you give up on those days that it's really tough. I'm going to be right there for you. And that is where I come in, okay? I provide you with daily one-on-one support and accountability that you will need to stick to those healthy habits. And now you might be thinking, oh, I've tried that before. I've had a partner go with me to the gym. Well, it's one thing to have a partner, but it's another thing to have someone that truly understands what you're going through, what the triggers are, and how to create a story, to create a system, to create a strategy that's going to help you in those weak moments. And that's what I want to be for you. But here's the thing. Accountability is more than just having somebody to go with you to the gym. It's about having someone who understands all of that and can provide that personalized support, not a one-size-fits-all, but that personalized support that's going to help you, all right? So, and I'm committed to your success, and that's why I only take 25 people in my program. So I've already signed up a couple, and starting on Friday, after the last training on Thursday night, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do a training tomorrow night. I do church stuff tomorrow night. But on Thursday night, I'm going to do the third and final training. And then on Friday, I'm going to open up the opportunity for you to join me. So be ready for that. I'm going to have some fast action bonuses for people that take action fast. So I want you to be aware of that. Okay, so today, I was working with a client. She was a 72-year-old woman that had had a stroke, and now she has Alzheimer's. And, you know, it's really sad when we see the devastation of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, we see that. And so that's why it's so important for you to take action, because how you are right now, as far as your strength, your fitness level, it's going to stay the same. And no, it's not. It's going to get worse, because after 60, we start losing strength. I'm 69. Trust me, I know. You lose strength unless you're gaining strength. And that's what I'm going to teach you. Yes, you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to learn how to gain strength and not lose your muscle and not lose your tone and not lose your mobility and your ability, okay? So think about this. Your muscles, think about, all right, let me just say, oops, let me get this. I'm going to use this. So let's just say this is your spine, and if it was just your skeleton, it wouldn't stand up on its own, would it? No, it wouldn't. What holds your skeleton up, what holds your back up, what holds everything up are your muscles. Without your muscles, you're just a bag of bones, okay? And so it's kind of like a spank. Have you worn a spank before? You know how they hold you up? Well, that's what your muscles do. But as you age, literally at 60, it's like falling off a cliff. You start losing muscle mass, and that's when back problems come around, neck problems, shoulder problems, frozen shoulder, disc herniation, hip fractures. I say it's the 4 fatal F's of females over 50. Did you get that? The 4 fatal F's for females over 50. Fatigue, frailty, falls, and fractures. And then number 5 is a fatality, because did you know that only 35% of people survive for a year after having a hip fracture? So beyond a year. So this is all life or death. It's not just, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to get skinny. No, it's not about that. Yes, that's important. It is important to feel good about yourself and look good in your clothes. But what's more important is, how are you going to age this next decade and the next decade? I know I think about that at 69. What is the 70s going to look like for me? And at 79, I want to be able to do a handstand just like I can do now. And how am I going to be able to do that? Because I'm going to keep on doing it. And that's how you're going to be able to keep walking and lifting your groceries and putting things up in the cabinet and stepping up on the step stool and playing with your grandchildren. You know, this weekend I jumped on the trampoline. We went to a trampoline park, and I was able to jump. I'm able to shoot the basketball. I'm able to throw. I'm able to do all these things. And I'm not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon you that you can do it too, but you got to start now. You got to start now. Okay, so not tomorrow night, Thursday night, I'm going to be doing the 3rd and final training, and we're going to wrap up. I'm going to talk about a few other things and educate you a little bit more on that, tell you a little bit more about how this will work for you. But if this sounds like it's resonating with you, then message me and we'll get on a call and we'll decide if it's a fit for you. Because here's what I'm going to say. The last thing I want for you is another failure. That's not going to work for me, and it's not going to work for you. I want your success, and that's why I'm doing this training, to let you know what's possible and how you can transform. You, like Susie, can wear those clothes from the back of the closet or get that new outfit. You can have energy. You can have a new lease on life. You can begin to move away from just being sedentary and not doing anything to participating in activities. And your children are going to be so proud of you, because I'm going to tell you, if you've been sitting doing nothing, they are concerned. They are concerned. Trust me, I know. I hear it as a physical therapist. I see them bring in their mom who just fell and broke a hip, and they're wondering, what are we going to do now? Now she's not going to be able to live by herself. you know, or this frozen shoulder thing. She can't even put her clothes on and off. What are we going to do about that? So there's a lot ahead, but let's choose for it to be good. Okay? Let's choose up. Let's choose better. Let's choose strength. Let's choose mobility. Okay? All right. If you have a question, if you'll put it in the comments, I can't see it now, but I will see it. Or if there's something you want, question you want me to answer, maybe on Thursday night, I'll do that too. So far, I don't see anybody. Well, a lot of y'all told me where you're watching from, and I do appreciate that. So keep doing that for me. And then New Jersey. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to be uploading this video, and it'll go out in an email tomorrow. So if you miss part of it, or if I don't have your email, you need to put your email in the comments so I can send you the link to sign up for my email so that you get on the email. But let me hear from you. I love y'all. Y'all have a great night, and let's talk soon.